Hello, welcome to another edition of Cooking with Becky. Today I'm going to make red chili tamales. So I've already started cooking the chili California peppers in a pot of boiling water. So I'm going to let these boil for about 30 minutes. And we'll come back and check on them and get them blended. Today I'm cooking about 3 pounds of chicken. I did put the chicken to cook in the crock pot early this morning, so it's been cooking now for about 6 hours. It's definitely ready. I'm just waiting for the chili peppers to be done so I can blend them, and then I'm going to drain the chicken and fill the crock pot with chili, and then let the chicken simmer in the red chili.
Next.
Okay, so now the chilies are done cooking. They're nice and soft. We are gonna take the stems off of them. So you want to make sure that you pull all the stems off. You definitely don't want to blend the chilies with the stems. So you just pull them off like that. It's pretty easy. And then you're gonna put the chili peppers into the blender container. So we want to fill it up maybe about halfway with chilies. The more chilies, the more flavorful. Okay, so now that the container is about halfway filled with chili peppers, we're going to add water. I like to use the same water from the pot. Just make sure you don't get the stems in your measuring cup. So let's see how many cups of water we are going to use. Okay, there's one, now 2. You don't want to put too much water because you don't want it to overflow. So that's about halfway. I'll do 1 more scoop, so that'll be 4 cups of water. That's pretty good. So what I like to do is I've chopped up some onion here, so we're going to put some onion into the blender as well, just a few pieces. I chopped up about half an onion, so I don't want to put the whole onion in it, but we'll just do a few pieces of onion. And then also some garlic salt. So we'll put a little bit of garlic salt in that as well, just to give it flavor. You can put as much as you like. I mean, it just depends on your taste. I like a lot of garlic, so I'm going to put a lot of garlic salt in that. Of course, you also want to add a little bit of salt as well. Give it some flavor. So now that we have our liquid, our chili peppers, onion, garlic salt, and regular salt, we're ready to blend. So let's get this on here, nice and tight. There we go. Put the lid on it. So you're gonna blend it. I like to blend it for about 3 to 5 minutes. Just let the blender run on high or liquefy. Just because the skin of the chili peppers tend to be a little tough, so it takes them a little bit longer to blend. So I like them to be blended really finely, so that when I drain it, there's not too much skin left behind. So I'm going to let that blend for about 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, so that's nice and blended. Before we strain it and put it in with the chicken, we're going to go over to the chicken and drain that. The chicken is definitely ready. Like I said earlier, this is 3 pounds of chicken cooked in a crock pot for about 7 hours now. So we're going to go ahead and drain the chicken, and then I'm going to put the chili sauce into it after I drain the chilies. Okay, so I've drained the chicken. I'm going to go ahead and just put the strainer right on top of the chicken. I have the chili right here, and we are going to pour the chili into the strainer. It's less mess this way because I don't have to use another bowl, less dishes. So we can kind of swivel this around. You can see the seeds, so it pulls all the seeds out. Some people don't strain it and just, throw it all in, and you can do that if you like the taste. Personally, I like to strain it and get all the seeds out. So as you can see, it left all the seeds there after we strained it. You can see the level of chili that's in the chicken. We'll probably do about 1 or 2 more containers of chili to pour in here. Like I said, I only use 3 pounds of chicken, so 1 or 2 more containers of chili will be good. If you were doing a larger pot, obviously you would do a lot more chili. So I'm going to go ahead and rinse this off, and I'll put another batch of chili to blend in the blender. Okay, so here is my second batch of chili. I'm going to go ahead and blend this for 3 to 5 minutes. And this should be enough for this size of chicken. So let me go ahead and blend it, and we'll get back to the chicken. Okay, so the second batch of chili is all done. So we're going to do the same thing that we did the first time. I'm going to go ahead and put the strainer in there, and we're going to pour in the chili. And hopefully this should be enough for this amount of chicken. There we go. So once you've poured it all in, like I said, you can usually see the skin is a little thick even though we've blended it. So you can stir it around, and that will usually help it flow through the drain a little bit better. That definitely looks like it's going to be enough sauce for this chili. So once we get this all strained, I'm going to go ahead and shred the chicken. This is taking a little bit longer. Let me see. So now that we've got it pretty much emptied out, I'm going to go ahead and put the strainer aside. So now that we've filled the pot with the chili, we're going to go ahead and shred the chicken. So you don't want to shred it too much. You don't want it to be finely shredded. You can have little chunks if you'd like. So we're going to go ahead and get the chicken all shredded. Now once it's completely shredded, we're going to let it marinate in the chili for about an hour, just so it can soak up all the delicious chili flavor. So we'll come back to it in about an hour, and then it'll be ready to start our tamale wrapping. So while we're letting the chicken marinate in the chili sauce, we are going to go ahead and soak the corn husks. Normally you can buy corn husk in a bag. They sell them at about £1. So for this batch of tamales, we're going to use only about £1 of corn husks, but they do come a little firm and rough, so you want to let them soak in water, and that'll soften them up. So they can usually soak for about 30 minutes to an hour. So I'm going to fill this sink with water, and then I'll go ahead and dump the corn husk in there. So as you can see, you can hear they're like pretty tough, so the water will soften them up, and it'll be a lot easier to fold and wrap the masa in. The water all in between them. So we'll let that fill up and let them soak for about 30 minutes, and then we'll come back and dry them off and get them ready to wrap our tamales in. So now that the husks have soaked in the water and they're nice and soft, we're going to go ahead and drain them. So you want to try to get as much water off of the husk as you can. You can lay them out on a towel so that they can dry. So we'll probably let them dry for about an hour or so. You don't want them to be too wet because that'll make it harder when you put the masa on them. It'll actually make the masa a little watery. So you want to make sure that they're nice and dry when you're ready to lay the masa on them.